Hey, we're live. Oh, good morning, everyone. It is Thursday, the 13th of November. It's like nothing really significant about it. I don't know. Well, hi, I'm Jim, and I welcome you to having coffee this morning. We're just chatting for just a little bit about, I don't know, a little bit of this, a little bit of that. I hope your week has been well, better than, you know. Okay, so the government strike is now over, right? Done, finito. They all came to terms with whatever it is they're coming to terms with. You know who I feel truly, I'd say bad for, and it's from a practical standpoint. That would be all the federal workers. I'm not even being facetious here. It really is a matter of think about it. Those folks had to show up to work today after a 44-day weekend. Man, that's gotta suck. I mean, just coming back in after a 3-day weekend has always been problematic. The way I saw it, was, oh, you just never could get your circadian rhythm back. But so after a 44-day weekend, federal workers are going to be returning to the jobs that in many ways do good things for the rest of our American society. So all the best to you, federal workers. I salute. But now that that's out of the way, that's here we are. we're back, or they're back. I wonder how many called in this morning. Or slept in, overslept. I mean, 44 days is a long time to, I don't know, and then getting back into the flow of things. I feel for them. I really do. What else is going on? Like I said, Wednesday was a great Wednesday. Had the opportunity to get out and talk to folks again in regards to just stuff and getting caught up. And had a great afternoon hanging out with Rick and Shirley Schoenberger over at Backstreet Trader. And I tell you, love those two to death. They are great. It's funny. I've got on the 72601life.com website a little slogan there that downtown starts on Stevenson, and it's because of them. Yeah. So, but I don't know. It's just cool hanging out with folks that you really dig. And I had other reasons being down there too, which of course involves the virtual stump, which is alive and active because now, as of noon yesterday, all candidate filings are done. They're done. It's over. It's through. If you wanted to run and you wanted to wait till today, you waited too long. And I had a great conversation actually with one candidate. I don't want to say, well, here's the thing about this outreach with the virtual stump. First and foremost, I wanted to be very clear. I want this from my presentation to you. It's going to be as nonpartisan at all, no bias, if you will. I wanted that platform to be a fair shake for any and everyone running for office. Why? Because the reasoning behind it is that I truly believe that on the local level, elections absolutely matter. But local elections, the majority of time, do not get a whole lot of heat if it's not one of the bigger federal elections going on, such as like the president's race. This is the midterm run that we're going into, so very few people participate. And my thoughts, and this is just my thoughts, and maybe you see it this way too, perhaps if you're even thinking about it, which is what I want to kind of help fix, is that when it comes to a lot of local elections, since the folks who are running for office don't, they're not pouring, tens and twenties and hundreds of thousands of dollars into campaigns to stay in front of you. So you may not even know who they are by name, or even if you heard their name, you just don't know them. So the virtual stump exists as a platform where if everyone's there, it's a centralized location for people to go look and at least get familiar. And then it's on the candidates, of course, to engage with you, right? And it's kind of a symbiotic circle to where folks are working together to get to know one another for the benefit of the local community, whether it be in your town or city or the whole county. Those matter, and then also the state level. So all that's happening there. But we've got, again, this is kind of interesting the way it's played out. A lot of incumbents, and to you incumbents, I highly encourage you to not sit on your thumbs when it comes to, we'll say, campaign, because it's not just about campaign, especially if you're an incumbent and you're running unopposed. Still connect with your constituents. It won't hurt you at all. Period. It's actually good for everybody. Get everybody excited talking about stuff. But a whole lot of those going on there. But there are some races. Let me come over here real quick. And so if you go over to the Boone County Clerk's Office Facebook page, they've got the full listing right there of everyone who made the date. And so these are the hoorahs. I know that's really hard to see on the screen, but if you just go to the Boone County Clerk's Office Facebook page, guess what? You can see this for yourself. And again, it's like, it's kind of the normal, well, definitely the normal races that are going to be, at least have two people going for it. But it's kind of cool. We're seeing in Boone County, 3 Justice of the Peace districts actually have a race going on. In District 10, you got Tony Jones and State Representative Ron McNair. And District 9 is incumbent Justice Ralph Gwynn being opposed by Jody Marshall. And then Justice of the Peace District 5, Bob Warden and Ryan Summit. So that one's wide open. So we're not looking at an incumbent race there. So those 2 guys are facing off for the first time to fill the seat. And in the coroner's race, which is always interesting, I've always found that interesting that the coroner position is an elected one. I don't have, I no dog in the fight either way, other than you just don't think about that. But so you have to elect your coroner, just so you know. And that'd be between Michael Ricole, I hope I got that right, and Aaron Howdy. Guess what? We get the opportunity to chat for the political stump, or the virtual stump. I'll get that pronunciation right. Of course, one of the bigger races is always the county sheriff, and that one comes up this time around, seeing Tim Robertson and Mark Forsey looking to take on the roles of Boone County Sheriff, which is, again, another very insightful thing when it comes to what we perceive an office to be versus what an office actually is. And I'm sure that both candidates will be talking about that a lot. The one that is going to be a mess, and not because of the candidates, but because there's so many running, but the Boone County judges race, guaranteed runoff because you got 5 people running there. So get to know everybody, and unless you guys are really showing your support for just 2 people in a big way, yeah, you're looking at a big 5-way race between Christopher M. Davis, Danny Hall, Bobby Woods, James Still, and Tyler Gentry. So pretty much guaranteed runoff situation there. But again, my hope in all of this is to be able to just get you informed and get you connected, and vice versa. Candidates and residents get to know one another. And the virtual stump is AMP Multimedia and my way of doing that. I've been doing it since 2010. Actually, it was the first time I put together something like that, the whole Earn My Vote thing. Excuse me. With the old Here, There, and Everywhere show I did on TKO back then. And it went over well, and it was primarily city races that year, and that was 2010. And it was good. And what was great is what I've seen over the years is those who will participate in things like that are solely public information, community outreach thing, they did well on election day. I'm just saying. And it's true. What else is going on? It is World Kindness Day. Whoever comes up with these specified days on your calendar, World Kindness Day. And yesterday I noted that for November, or Movember, I don't like that one, but November is, Men's Health Awareness Month, and so you think about your physical, your mental, your emotional. Guys, take some time, because again, we're going into the holidays, and with the holidays, it can get stressful on the guys out there. And because again, you ladies are great about handling and doing the Thanksgiving stuffs and the Christmas stuffs. It's like, even though it's stressful, you guys, it's like that nurturer thing that you ladies are really good at handling and mitigating and doing. And guys, we stand on the sidelines hoping to help where we can, but knowing that we're probably going to get yelled at just as soon as we attempt to help. So that's another good reason for World Kindness Day. Be nice to the guys trying to help. Ladies, it's important. We need that. We want to help. Let me go ahead and do this real quick. I'm going to copy the link to the Boone County Clerk's Office. And let me find, once again, where am I streaming at here? Again, if you're watching on YouTube, it's easier to find and follow the action over on Facebook land. So man, this drives me nuts when it does this. So anyway, I'm in the process of finding, I'll put the link there. But in the meantime, thinking about be kind. It's World Kindness Day, for God's sake. Don't be so rude. But, excuse me. Where are you? There I am. Okay, so There it is. And I'm just kind of moving things around so it can be where it needs to be a little bit more accessible. Yeah. So, anywho, there's that. But again, it's like thinking about world kindness and not in that big, giant globalist way. And I'm not going down a rabbit hole with that. It's just true. It's just world kindness starts with local kindness. Be good to each other in your neighborhoods. And then I promise you, it'll permeate out. It will. And for the most part around here, I see us being very fortunate outside of the rumblings that may happen inside of the box. On the streets here in the Ozarks, we all get along pretty well, I would say. I think I will stand on that this is between, like I say, from the south to the north to the east to the west around the 72601, people are good to one another. We really are. Occasionally you get a jerk, but when do you not? But they're very few and far between. I mean, that's been my experience anyway. Not specifically towards me, but just in general. One thing I will say, though, for this World Kindness Day, if there's a challenge I could put out to folks, whenever you're out and about, take the initiative to just smile more. Seriously, lock eyes and smile. It drives me nuts, really, that we don't do that so much. And whenever you do say hello, because I say hello to everybody. I say hi, hello, how are you? Everywhere I go. It's a habit that I've formed over the years, just for whatever reason that it's just natural to me. But people seem genuinely surprised when you do that. Why is that? No, but let's make it common again. We still hold the door for each other. I love seeing that. It's so funny because like I see more and more people almost, like almost every time you'll see people fighting to hold the door for other people, just walking in and out. That's like a little sliver of light, hope shining through and people just being civil and wonderful to one another. I like that. So be kind, be good to yourselves, and be good to each other, and everybody gets along a lot better. Another thing that I found interesting, like on that national headline front, was that, and I heard about this, and they were going to do this, as far as like this is now official, the U.S. Mint is no longer striking pennies. So no new pennies are going to be going into circulation, and I'm sure as you use them, they're just going to just be ate up and fed back into the system to never again be distributed, with the understanding that as this moves forward here in the U.S. Now, what I understand, like Canada and Australia, they've been doing this forever. As far as like transactions will start getting rounded up to the nearest 5-cent mark, which is interesting and kind of problematic in itself, because the reason to get rid of the pennies was it cost more to make a penny than to have a penny. So, but the one that's worse, and I've always had this thing that I don't like nickels. Well, now I've got another reason not to. When you understand that, like when it comes to nickels, the 5-cent piece, they cost 13 cents, almost 14 cents to produce. So it looks like the nickel will be the next one to go as far as like the hard currency, because again, we're all moving towards, here in the States and probably everywhere else, a cashless society. Think what you want about it. You've got your opinions. I've got mine. Don't care to go into that discussion right now. But it's kind of interesting to see that things are changing in that manner. Will it, when, I don't think it's a matter of if, I think it is a matter of when are we going to see a society that is cashless? We got a test run of it back in 2020, because you couldn't use cash because you would be spreading the thing. And, I don't know. It's like money has always been, it's always been framed as being like, man, no, that stuff is nasty. If you handle money, you need to wash your hands, because all the places it's been. Okay. Well, yeah, that's not necessarily wrong, but it's going to be interesting to see when everything is done just using these. It's coming. It is. It's inevitable, right? It's like if you were, once upon a time ago, they used to call people who would talk about this type of thing futurists. And futurists still exist, but they don't get a lot of, it's all like conspiracy. The people who are looking into the future and kind of calling the things that they see as coming as what will be a societal norm. But it's change, and change is always scary. It's sort of like the majority of people are still afraid of the dark. May not admit it, But somewhere inside all of our brains, we still don't dig the dark. It's like it's easy for people to get spooked. That's why if you watch like the ghost hunter shows and things like that, it's always has to be done at night. I don't know why, but apparently the spooky, paranormal, supernatural phenomena can only be explored and discovered at night. Never in the daytime. Ghosts sleep in. But at night, they're hopping, right? So I find that I've always found that kind of interesting, but that's a whole other discussion. But the main thing is that we are so funny in the way we're all connected in that manner, and we don't think about the little things. But people are, you can get people to spook themselves out so fast if the lights are off. I don't know. So when you come to change, and change happens, and you can't stop change, it's inevitable in a lot of things. It's just going to be interesting to see what happens as we continue to move forward into the cashless transactions, which I mean, if you think about it, we really already do. I know with all the shopping online, no cash involved there. Checking out at the various retail stores, again, most people use a debit or credit card, and they have to have a special line for cash. So, and there are not as many of those as there are the others. Convenience, right? So as we say farewell to new pennies, there will not be a 2026 penny. How collectible will the old ones be then? Don't know. We'll find out, won't we? Oh, what else is going on this morning? The 726. Here's an interesting thing for you. If you're using like the AI assistants out there to help you in tasks, like I was telling you, I've done with the 72601life.com website. This morning I shook it up a little bit. I wanted to try and see how Google's Gemini performed a task compared to ChatGPT. And I got to say that ChatGPT is better. Because now what you see if you go, once again, 72601life.com, to check out the weather forecast and the headlines. Headlines, it did okay. Now this is Gemini we're talking about, that generated the HTML code on this one. The weather forecast is very telling. Because Gemini is made by Google, right? Had the exact same prompt to put together and curate this list of weather and news information. And you'll see right here, for tomorrow, Google doesn't know what's coming. No, I mean, but it just stopped. It's like you would think that with Google weather, and the way the prompt is, as far as like, I just want a simple 36-hour forecast. Nice and simple, today, tonight, tomorrow. But boy, it got the 24 hours in, but tomorrow, nope, we're done. We don't know. We're not looking that far in the head. Sort of like, it is like a simulation type thing. It's like the program only goes this far as the walls that it's built, and it stops because we don't know. But otherwise, it looks like it's going to be beautiful both in Harrison and Branson and all places in between today. Back to spring once again, highs in the low 70s, overnight lows in the low 40s. Looks like the solar storm has calmed down a bit. Didn't see a whole lot of that last night. So there we go. But again, just kind of taking a look around and see what's happening around. Again, Google is so weak with Gemini as far as like scraping the internet for information and things that are going on. There's still some good stuff up there. So go take a look, and we see what all is happening around the area. So yeah, there's that. That's been kind of interesting. I like sharing that because I have conversations with folks when it comes to the AI integrations and using it for something good. And I'm a little surprised because a lot of folks are not very savvy with what's happening. And I understand everybody's got their lives to live, but there's like some personal education steps you need to take. I firmly believe that. It's like we've been homeschooling Caitlin since before she was born, right? And one of the things in that role as a parent in the homeschooling thing, Alicia and I both make it a point to encourage her to learn something every day, outside of just the standard reading, writing, and arithmetic. Because whenever the curiosity of learning is the focal point, all the rest of it comes along naturally. And then you can find like where there could be holes in the curriculum, and then you focus in on that, and it works. I can easily say that I'm proud of my daughter and her ability to do critical thinking and to ask questions and to do her own homework and research as soon as something comes up. And she just takes her own initiative. And that's probably very true amongst all homeschooled kids. Not saying public school kids don't do it, but they get a lot of busy work. I think the homeschool kids, they get the opportunity to explore more. So do with it what you will. Oh my goodness gracious. The Uncle Sam and Toys or Totems bundle, right, is still available. I've got 6 of those left. So if you've been wanting to pick one up, it is. The book itself is a fantastic Christmas gift. And dare I say, I believe the message that I've captured inside of it is very strong as far as like a world kindness thing. If you'd like to get it as a gift for someone, and like Shirley did yesterday, oops, spoiler, I don't think her brother watches. But anyway, the ability to apply the lessons inside of that book that are baked in story, it's not just a boring checkbook thing or workbook checklist thing. I believe it opens up a freedom for you, because it has for me. And hopefully it'll encourage you to consider writing a book yourself. Doesn't matter what it is, doesn't matter fiction, nonfiction, but grab pen and paper, use that creativity, embrace it. It's important. And then, once again, let me go over here. I want to give a shout out for some Evergreen. One of the things that I'm doing when it comes to, like, okay. Now, while Amp Multimedia is an advertising agency of sort, but again, it's a multimedia thing. It's more about content creation and doing those type of things. Because to platform someone, excuse me, that's the wrong way to put it. Let me clear that up. When it comes to working with someone nowadays, I know that there's no medium I could offer them, be it a website or a publication or a video or anything, to where advertising as real reach, the ROI on that, return on investment, I think is very low, maybe even a little sketchy as far as like what I could charge you for to guarantee you any type of results, because everything's too fragmented. Now, for everybody who tunes in here and I say XYZ company is the best XYZ ever in the history of, that could have some weight, but at the same time, I just don't, it's not like the old days of forced viewership and listenership on television and radio. It's not the same. So with that said, I didn't want to go in that direction. What I do like to do, though, is I like commercials. Why? Because I love the art and the skill that goes into a good commercial. I just do. It was embedded and ingrained in me since birth in 1973. And we had some wonderful ad campaigns out there that predated that, but all throughout the 70s, 80s, and into the 90s, there were just golden to me, and that's why I like doing it. But as a business model, not so much anymore. But to create things of an evergreen nature, meaning that, it's got legs beyond just branding. Evergreen means branding to me. And when you look at certain campaigns, they're just golden because there's something worth talking about and being remarkable for a very long time. And as of late, like just in the past couple of days, there was let me get this pulled up again. But I have got to give it locally 2 folks I want to shout out real quick. And so let me see if I can do this without getting the camera all wonky. Here we go. Okay, first one up. And let me come over here. I can do it like this now. The first one up is Good Guys Pizza here in Harrison, located right there on the main run and on Highway 65. They put together this promotion right here, the Find a Rock, post a pic, eat free pizza promotion. That to me is just absolutely gold, because one, it's fun and it's worth talking about. And then you get the opportunity to, get people to interact and engage and have fun. So now I'm going to take that. Let me do this. Again, I just have to shout them out because that is just so much fun. It really is. I love seeing promotions that get people to want to play, because it's not just about selling pizzas to people, which their buffet is great. We partake from time to time ourselves, and it's just really good stuff, right? But also, just when a business goes the extra mile to just talk to people and do things with people. I like that. Or when we come over here to my other shout out, which has to be my pal Aaron Anderson with Vigilant Inspection. Where are you at? Let me get that pulled up. But Vigilant Inspection Services and Aaron Anderson. The reason I even know his name is because of some brilliant, I found brilliant videos that he was doing for his promos and everything. And oh wow, you weren't supposed to see all that. It's flipped over on me. Anyway, but no, here it is. It's just wonky in there. But Aaron does some of the most clever, useful, and like this video here, if you haven't seen this one, go check it out specifically. But him underneath his house doing an inspection and finding some very, look at that. See how sketchy that is? Did you know that was under your house? Probably not. Did you know it was under the house that you were looking to buy? Probably not. So when you get a big guy like Aaron willing to go digging and diving, let me put that back. You don't need to see a multiple wall of me. But again, I just have so much appreciation because all of those things are truly evergreen because in the moment, they are the moment. But if you watched it again in a year or 2 years, it still has relevance. And I dig that. I appreciate that because that again, that's what I would like to see from everyone. That's why when it comes to my little purple cows that you'll see on me, I'm looking for those. And so I need to, I love celebrating people being creative. That's the biggest thing of all. Because again, what's my underlying mission of everything is to encourage you and me to embrace organic creativity and connection in the age of AI and social media. Because this is all a part of our lives now. And barring a giant grid shutdown and it all goes away, which I don't want, this is how it is. So we got to learn how to integrate into it comfortably as best we can. I do hope you're enjoying that. Okay, so we've touched base on a lot of the things going on. Again, the virtual stump is the big public outreach I'm working on right now because I feel it's the opportunity I can take to do the most good in any one particular way. And that's what I'm doing. And because again, an informed community is a connected community. I gotta take me off the screen over here on this other screen because it's just weird looking at me bouncing back in delay. It's weird. One other thing is a big shout out that if you're not aware of, which if you're here locally in Harrison, and you're not aware of this, check your pulse, baby. But around the region, for everybody else who's checking out or checking in, the biggest thing going on this weekend is Mid-States Wrestling returning to the fairgrounds for their Saturday show. Let me pull once again that up because it matters. But Mid-States Wrestling is probably one of the greatest ongoing live promotions ever. Let's see if I can fix this over here real quick to make it fit better. But Mid-States Wrestling is simply awesome. The shows that are put on as they come back home to town are just great. Let's see what we can make this look better. But again, the guys, Jason Jones, the Space Cowboy himself, has done such an amazing thing for decades now and put together a family event that is just beyond awesome. It really is. And I've got my favorites, of course. The man himself, the Kansas heavyweight champion now, Gary Graham. He's my favorite on the circuit around these parts. But again, that is coming up this Saturday, 7 p.m. at the Northwest Arkansas Fairgrounds in the indoor building. So if the weather does get dicey, as some think it might, it won't matter to you because you'll be inside watching probably one of the best nights of family entertainment you could ever hope to get. So I'm going to once again do a little copy. I mean, this you don't need to see that part, all this miscellaneous nonsense. But I want to put them in there because again, if you haven't been to a mid-state show, you're missing out truly on a night of great family entertainment and a lot of fun and a lot of talent inside the squared circle. Yep. So make a note of that. And I'm not just biased because some of those guys are my friends, but also because it's really great. It honestly is. It's a good night of family entertainment in an affordable manner that memories are made that I tell you, I know it's funny. I kind of wanted to focus on that again today because someone had posted one of the various wrestling groups out there on the Facebook land, I'd seen some images of an old wrestler from the Mid-South wrestling days, Mr. Wrestling number 2. And that particular wrestler was my dad's absolute favorite. His bionic knee. That was, man, that was dad's. Just, he got a kick out ever since I could remember, right? Because we used to watch Mid-States on Channel 4, the NBC affiliate in Little Rock, every Saturday morning. And it was great, and Dad just loved it, man. That's what pulled me in, and to wrestling as entertainment and fun. And of course, that was back in the days when we knew it was real, because it was, and it was crazy. And that's why, even to this day, having had the opportunity to chat with some of the fellows from the old Mid South days, and it's kind of surreal going past the fourth curtain or the fourth wall thing. But I tell you what, there's some that were so good. One in particular that I don't want to ever meet in person, because he was so good at what he did and being a heel, that he and I, there's a possibility I'd just be stupid, because he pissed me off so bad back then. Just, imagine 6-year-old Jim sitting there screaming at the television at Jim Cornette. Yeah, I named you, buddy. But boy, he was so good at what he could make me so damn mad. Ted DiBiase too. And it's like later on in his, not in his legacy, the $1 Million Man. Well, before he was the $1 Million Man and he was in Mid-States Wrestling with some of the wrestlers who became the biggest names in wrestling through the WWF/WWE now. They came through Mid-South, and because again, Ted DiBiase, the Junkyard Dog, all those guys, Kamala, the Uganda Giant, and it was good stuff. It really was, and the talent, their names. That shows a lot. But yeah, some of those guys, I don't think I'd ever want to meet. I remember years back, I'd gotten the opportunity when I was filming the shows for Jason, and I got to meet Butch Reed, Hacksaw Butch Reed. And that was such a big deal in the Mid-South, because you had Hacksaw Butch Reed and Hacksaw Jim Duggan. And Duggan is an amazing guy. Butch Reed is too. But it was so funny, because Butch in the Mid-South days was pretty much just a heel. And it was cool having conversations. There's a picture somewhere we've got with Butch holding Caitlin when she was itty bitty, and I don't know. It's kind of fun. I've had a wonderful life, and that's not to brag or boast. It's just, man, I am very grateful for all the opportunities I've had, and I got to have here in the 72601. And and that's why I do believe I'll always want to do the best I can to support the community where I can and not overextend myself. Because this place has been very good to me. I got my wife, I got my daughter, I made some friends, and I get to do stuff like this just because. Why not? And yeah, let me get I didn't even know exactly where this show was going to go this morning, but it's just been all sappy and fun. But it's real, it's genuine, it's what I wanted to do. So there you go. So let's wrap this thing up. We hit my post 30-minute mark, because again, consistency is key. This is mainly just you and I having conversations over coffee every single morning at 8 a.m. It's like I'm training for a marathon or something. Every morning we need to hit this thing, because I'm curious what's going to evolve from this, because I've seen one of the things when you get yourself into a habit and a system to get you towards your goal. What's my goal? Well, let's say we already know. Remember, kids, I have three pillars of the way my life works right now outside of home and family. One, I have one product, and that's my book, Toys or Totems. And that's my primary focus. That's just really what I have, a goal of 11,000 lives touched through that book. That's my goal there. But goals are great, but you got to have a system to get there. Well, what's the system? The system is doing things like this for the sake of connection and marketing and promotion, and it's working very well. I'm very, very happy with that. The second tier is the one service I provide, and that's helping businesses save time through creating evergreen content that is not just wide open willy-nilly anymore. I don't go knocking on doors, man. Just come by. No, 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 no. I like to work with people who understand the concept, right? And it is a matter, they need the help saving time. When we match up on that, then we can work together. I'm also going to work on putting together some workshops and things like that, and training things, because again, hiring people is not cheap at all. Doesn't mean they're overpriced. It just means you got to do what you got to do. But I also prefer to teach people how to do things, because you have all the tools necessary to do so much now, and you just got to learn how to use them, right? And you can. The internet has made it possible to learn anything. Now, some things you may not want to actually do, like surgery, don't do that through YouTube tutorials. Mm-mm, don't. I don't think that'll ever be a good idea. But everything else, though, if you need to learn how to, like, I want everything from patching a roof to fixing your car, which is going to get more dicey because cars are getting way too well, they already are way too computerized to really work on it. I miss the days when if there was a problem with the car, I popped the hood, I could change out an alternator or starter or everything that made it go vroom vroom and be able to do it at home. Shade Tree Mechanics. That I do believe is going to be another extinct species because technology is just not going to be doable without a whole lot of equipment and money and things that the average person just doesn't have. But for the things that every average person does have, I can teach you how to use them in an effective manner for storytelling and creating evergreen content. And then, of course, the third pillar, again, is the best I can do inside of my community. And what I've got right now is the 72601life.com, specifically the virtual stump to help the candidates and voters get connected to learn more about one another to benefit the community on that level of representative government, because that's what we're based on here in the United States at every level. So let's do good things together. I guess that's going to wrap it. Share this thing, or just go share links, because I'm more interested in that. I'm not worried about growing this part so much. You can like, comment, share, help the numbers go up, because again, my up top mission is I want to connect with 11,000, or connect my book with 11,000 people. That's it. And it's working. We're getting there. We're not at 11,000 yet. We're still, this is a marathon, kids. We're going to be rolling right along. But hopefully it'll snowball, because it can. It'll snowball thanks to you. So all the folks who are following my Totem Ambassadors author page, I've just now learned how to get back in on the back door of it. But thank you all for showing your support there. For everyone who's leaving reviews on Amazon, double thank you there. And for everyone else who's getting the book, man, I appreciate you so much. And the feedback that I'm getting makes it totally worth getting out there on the stage and standing in that quote unquote spotlight, ready for slings and arrows wherever they come, because there'll always be some. And I'm cool with it. I don't care. I'm not worried about being embarrassed. That's a superpower. You're not going to embarrass me. I've already done that in life, and I'm older now, so I really don't care. I'm telling you the truth, and that's why I can stand on it easily. Check it out, share it, let everybody know. And have a great Thursday. We're going to do more things on Friday, right? 8 o'clock in the morning. What? No. It's every morning, 8 o'clock. What? No, you don't have to. You can watch this in a replay. What? Why are you so whiny this morning? What? Gosh, get another cup of coffee and come see me tomorrow morning. My goodness gracious. I'm going to put this end screen up so I can push the buttons